So this is a bit weird, but this is my little purse, and inside my little purse I keep my little coin. Actually, this isn't my little purse, because I keep my little purse inside my little coin. Actually, this isn't my little coin, because I keep my little coins inside my, my little purse. Stupid. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam and I am currently on day 3 of doing 2 weeks quarantine. Basically, I left to a different state to see some family. There was an outbreak. I thought I would make it back in time, but turns out I didn't, and now I'm stuck in the flat for 2 weeks. But it's not all bad. My brother was kind enough to leave a VR headset I've been messing around with. However, there's only so much leftover Christmas chocolates and VR you can play in your underpants before you start feeling a bit guilty about your life choices. So, I thought I'd do a video, and this week we're going to talk all about this new opener I've been working on. An opener is basically whatever you do in the first few moments when you walk out onto a stage. And because I've got a lot more time on my hands this year, I decided that it would be a good idea to try and work on and develop some sort of solid opener that I liked. Now, I've been a street performer for the past 7 years, so I've never really built a proper and solid opener. That's because when you're street performing, you don't really have an opener that you do, because there's no crowd there to start with for you to actually show something to. So instead, when you're street performing, you usually start with something called a build. Both openers and builds kind of do the same thing. It's both there to kind of set the tone of the show and let people know what they're about to watch. However, they're kind of structured completely different. That's just because when you're on a stage, you've got people there kind of ready to watch you, and when you're street performing, you've kind of got to make that yourself. So you'll tend to see a lot of magicians when they do an opener. It's a really strong trick that's solid and reliable and that they can count on. This is different to when you're building a crowd, because in your build, you don't really want to do your best material right away. When you're building and street performing, you kind of have to draw it out a lot longer and try and get more and more people to actually stop and watch before you start doing the actual bulk of your show. Because it doesn't really matter how good your fancy rope trick or flashy bottle production is, none of that really matters if nobody's there to watch it. But with that being said, like, your build can pretty much be anything you want. Just something that kind of lets people know that, hey, there's a show about to start here. Now, with that being said, I do have like an opening routine that I will do when street performing. Just kind of like a small coin routine with a few bits and pieces, but this doesn't really translate into a stage environment. That's mainly because it's a bit more drawn out, there's a bit more interaction with people and stuff like that. And I've tried doing it in the past, and although it works, it's just not really something I was ever happy with. I thought it would be good to kind of come up with something that I could do that's a bit different. And this is what I came up with. Basically, it's a bowling ball production which I've put inside a violin case. And the goal eventually is I'd like to walk out on stage and do my whole show out of this little violin case as well. The idea is to be introduced as a magician and then walk out on stage with the violin case explaining that there's been some sort of misunderstanding and you're actually a musician. You then say, well, I do know one trick, open up the case and then pull out a bowling ball or a cabbage or whatever. Hi, sorry, it's Sam editing the video here. I just made that little bit and watched it back and realized that it didn't really make any sense. So what I meant to say was you present it as, I will now turn my violin into, and then pull it out and it's a cabbage or whatever. A quick point on crediting too, I didn't do that in the video. So the bowling ball from Briefcase production was originally, from what I know, put out by a guy named Howard Flint. He came up with it, but from what I could see, nobody actually knows if he ever gave his permission to have it produced or made or anything like that. So now I kind of feel a bit dirty that I made my own and I'm now making a video about it. But anyway, back to the video. There's a few more bits of it, but that's basically the idea. I was going to include some sort of performance footage, but I'm currently doing quarantine. I've done it a few times, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll just include a little clip of what it looks like here. Here it is, turning my violin into a cabbage. Ta-da! I do have an idea of how to pull a full-size violin out of the case as well, but it's going to be a lot more work, so for now, That should work fine. The idea for this came about because it's something that kind of happens all the time, and I'm sure other magicians can kind of relate, where whenever you're out and somebody asks you, what do you do? And you say you're a magician, generally the answer is, oh, what instrument do you play? No, like card tricks and stuff. Oh. My grandson showed me a card trick once. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like. And if you didn't like the video, then congratulations on making it this far through. Seriously, I'm really proud of you, and you should definitely see if you can get through some of my other videos. But really, if you are into magic, check out some of the other videos I've done. And if you've got anything to say, leave it in the comments, or just let me know if I screwed up any of the crediting or anything like that. But that's it. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.